Morning, welcome to 50 Years of Chess. I'm Robert Radford and I've got a game against my opponent here. His name is Duncan Macarthur. Duncan has been around a long time in chess. I've known him many times in games when we played each other. It's usually slightly in favour to myself, but he has beaten me on occasion, so he is a good player, I know. I know that from personal experience. So I want to give this game to you and we'll talk a little bit about it after, okay? There's a lot to explain because it's a very strange game. E4, C6, C4, D5. Duncan's playing his favourite Caro-Kann defence with black. Pawn takes, D4. Knight F6, Knight C3, Knight C6, Knight F3. Bishop G4, pinning the knight. Bishop E3. That's necessary because if bishop takes knight, queen takes, and he's got knight takes D4. So I've got to make sure that D4 pawn is covered. E6. So he's done well so far. He's getting his pieces out. It looks quite good for black. I played this sort of line many times myself with the black pieces. So I'm not allowing him to play bishop B4, pinning me, which is what I think he might have done. So I've done one of my favourite moves, which is C5. I don't know why, but I don't see this in many games where people play it. I play it in a lot of my games. I like it because it's a space grabber and it denies bishop to D6. And also, with pawns on A, B and C, black has got pawns on A and B, A7, B7, and I got a 3 against 2 that side in an endgame. So that's pretty good, I think. So he played G6 because of what I just did. And here I didn't play bishop E2. That's very passive. I played bishop to B5, pinning his knight. So I was expecting bishop G7 next, but Duncan played bishop takes knight. So I played bishop takes knight as well. So I would be expecting to play pawn takes bishop now. This seems to be the right move. But he played king E7. That's so weird. I don't know why he did that. So weird. I know he's thinking, well, I'm not going to be blocking my bishop because it's going to G7 anyway. But why didn't he just take the bishop? It's now a piece down after queen takes bishop. And I remember at the time he looked shocked. I think he thought, oh, I just lost a piece. So he played rook to C8. Now when you're in a bit of shock, it's traumatic. And the last thing you want to do is make a quick move. Duncan made a pretty quick move here with rook C8. Again, why didn't he just take the bishop? And then he wouldn't have been a piece down. So here we are. This is what's happened. I've just taken that pawn and a whole piece up and a pawn. So I've now gone bishop takes B7, and he's played rook to C7. Why didn't he play rook B8? And if I moved the bishop, he could take the pawn on B2. But I wouldn't have. I'd have played this move, C6. This is my own purpose for playing C5, is to get those pawns rolling down there. But this game's changed everything. He's now gone back with king. I'm sorry, I still have problems working this out. I thought he was going to play bishop G7. He's changing his plan, that's what he's doing. Bishop F4, attacking the rook, and he's gone bishop D6 now instead. So I castled. He played A6. Why not a5? Okay, a6. I took it. He could take on c6 now if he wished, but he played h5. So I went bishop takes, bishop, queen takes, and thank you very much, Duncan. You just allowed me to play knight b5. So now you've lost the exchange as well. It's just a nightmare game. He's got a knight hanging on f6 as well. I could have just took that, but first of all I wanted to get that rook. So queen takes pawn, knight takes bishop, queen takes knight, and I should just play queen takes knight here, but I got another plan. I just played rook c1, and he's in real trouble because he can't go back to d8 to protect the knight because of rook c8, and if he goes if he goes queen to e7, I still play rook c8 check, and he will lose the rook on h8. So at this point, poor Duncan just resigned. He'd had enough. He knows it was a nightmare game. He knows he made lots of mistakes. He knows that he can do better than this, much better. But we get games like this sometimes where we just lose control totally. Our thinking is all out of place. We're not thinking straight. We're not clearly analysing. When we play chess, we do a lot of analysing. You know, you're trying to play logical chess. You're trying to play accurately. But for whatever reason, maybe medication or something like that, can dull our minds and it can make us play. It's terrible. This was a game Duncan just wanted to forget. I'm sorry, my old mate, but I couldn't let this game be forgotten because it was something I just had to do. I'm sorry, mate. Okay, so that was another 50 years of chess game, one I'll remember for the rest of my life. Never mind 50 years. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll share with you later. By the way, at this point I've got 11.9 on Stockfish advantage, so I think it's a one game. Thanks a lot. Cheers.